Welcome to Pull the Pin Already War Room Edition. As usual, I'm your host, Jim. Joining me again, Mike. And our normal Chester, not Chester Kane. I'm not sure what we're calling him today, but
who knows, man? Who knows?
Welcome to the party. Awesome. Well, we don't want to waste any time because obviously, everybody comes here to listen to what we got to say. So let's get to talking. You guys know the deal. Some actual headlines pulled from actual media sources. So we're going to discuss them from a veteran's perspective. So let's see what we got. Ready?
Sure.
Boom. U.S. reports 1 million new daily COVID cases as Biden fails miserably at campaign pledge to shut down virus. Kind of combine two things there, right?
Yeah. I totally disagree with it.
Which part?
The failure part, personally. I disagree with that. Fails miserably. So, and the reason why, keep it going.
Well, that is the idea.
Let's
talk about it.
All right. Happy New Year. Hey, no, the reason why I disagree with it is because you have these different variants, okay? And I'm not going to the defense of the president in any way, but you know what? My policy is you said it, own it. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. He said he was going to shut it down, and it didn't, so it was a different variant, and it's going to be another variant and another variant. So it's never going to be shut down. But maybe at that time he didn't know. So I'm like, but you shouldn't have said it. But I understand why he said it, because we were in fear factor mode. So, what do you think? Not Kaner?
I kind of agree with you. I kind of feel like, he when he was running for president, he had this big fucking plan. I'm going to do this and this and this and blah, blah, blah. I still haven't seen the plan. So, as you said, he said it, own it. So, yeah, he's failed miserably. And I don't know if anybody would have done any better. So, it is what it is. I'm not going to dwell on it because this COVID thing's it's going to be here forever and it sucks.
That's true. Jim?
Simple as that.
Well, I was hoping, Mike. I thought we were going to start this one off a good one. I was like, hey, we're going to have a difference right off the gate. I'm like, oh, and then you just switch gears and it's like, all right, never mind.
Yeah, because the more, in my head, I know my feeling is I'm not defending him, whatever, but the more I spoke, it's like, man, you sound like Johnny Cochran for him. So, I just can't do that for these politicians, man. He said it, you own it.
I think you were on the right track for what I was going to say, too, is when they put in fails miserably. Obviously, that's an adjective that we're just, you can tell where it's coming from, what side it's coming from.
Yeah.
But the million reports, the million new cases, like that's, everybody's surprised. I don't know. But back to the Biden piece was, yes, that's what he ran on. That was a big thing. And when you criticize somebody else for them handling it, you promise, and then you don't deliver. Not only do you not deliver, but you literally criticize somebody else for not doing it, and you've got more people on your watch getting it. So that's why the miserably to me might actually fit.
Yeah. And, being a extremely seasoned politician, I think he should have known better, but they were just, doing what politicians do, placating, to their base, to the fear, to all of that. And it worked.
But
they got a couple extra million people to believe in it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there wasn't too many stupid people in this world, I don't know why you would take that chance with something like that. Like, his pledge was to get tests out. Like, if that was his big thing, to get testing everywhere, that's something quantifiable. But if you're trying to preach to control a virus,
right?
That's like saying there are going to be no more forest fires while I'm the president.
Right.
And then every Republican out there lighting fires, like, dude, you can't say stuff like that. You just know you can't say I'm going to do that. So I
Right.
think he took a chance with that. So I think that was probably not the best approach.
Right. I
So
agree.
I'll let him have miserable.
Yeah.
All right. You good, Kate? You want to add to that, or are we ready to move on?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So next one. Chicago teachers prepare to strike because they have to go back to work.
I could go all day about that one too. Hey, what do you think about that, Kana? Not Kana?
Well, I think that I think some new stuff has gone by since this news came out. Because what I understand right now is they're shut down. So I mean, this is I don't. They're already shut down. They're not going back to work, so it doesn't really matter. They're also not getting paid from what the mayor had said. So I don't know. I mean, they can prepare to strike all they want, but they're shutting down because of COVID. So I don't know.
Yeah, uh, my understanding of it was they were doing things virtually. So if they were doing it virtually, they were still in a sense working. You know.
Right.
So, but now they, once again we got these, and I get it, the clickbait type headlines because they have to go
Right.
back to work. I'm like, they were already working. They're gonna do it either virtually or in the classroom,
Right.
and I kind of support them, depending on what kind of, not restrictions, but uh,
Precautions.
huh?
Precautions.
Yeah, precautions or protocol they have for kids coming back to school, like, you know, vaccines or, shot record just showing that you received the vaccine, or wearing a mask. Like in our school for the kids, they have to wear a mask. So it's like maybe they don't have any of that. And if I was a teacher, I'd have to say, yeah, I don't agree with the union thing, but yeah, just on from an individual perspective, I have to agree with that. You guys are not doing a darn thing. Hey, I'm not going back in that classroom with 20 plus students. Forget about COVID, you know. That's like a Peachtree dish, as they call it, even before COVID. So it's like, and now you add COVID to the mix, it makes it even worse.
Yeah, I did watch Lightfoot, or what do they call her, Beetlejuice? I don't know what they call her. I did watch her her press briefing, whatever, and they are apparently at odds with the teacher. What do they call that? What is
Union?
the union? Yeah, apparently the teachers union are the ones that saying we're not going back,
Yeah.
and
Right.
the state's saying no, you need to go back. We did everything
Right.
we can. So what
Right.
Mike was referring to, Lightfoot saying they did, and I actually sat there and listened. I'm like, wow, Lightfoot really is making some sense this time. I don't usually like what she's got to say, but
She said they don't go back, they don't get paid. Period.
right. But and they're even talking about not letting them log in because they don't want to go back. So they're not going to let the teachers even log in, so they can't say they
Right.
are doing in
Right.
training any teaching. So I don't know.
I
Mike,
agree with the you strike, you don't go to work, you don't get paid. I agree with that 100%.
yeah, and Mike, I mean, there's a lot to break down here when we think about it, because I'm listening to your input there, and I'm like, okay, I can understand that. I think if we dive deeper, though, I mean, and look at the science, look at the what everywhere else is doing. Like, it's not like no kids are in school. Like, there are kids in school, so
Yeah.
so why Chicago is doing something different? And I have to think, we had this conversation about like law enforcement. I think when you go into cities like that, every place is going to be a lot more corruption.
Yeah.
So I can't help but think that every state function in the city of Chicago is probably full and flooded with corruption.
Mm.
So these people are probably making a mountain out of a molehill to take advantage of something.
Probably.
So I don't think they're the example, because you can look all around the country and kids are in schools.
Yeah.
So why are these teachers scared?
Well, once again, from an individual perspective, I will. I'll say I agree with them because we don't know everything that they've done. But like you said, she said, what the mayor said, that they've done everything they can. But I wish they would just do. I can't remember the lady's name. She became superintendent somewhere, and she was like, "Oh, they can strike if they want." And then she started going to teachers individually and offered them a salary that was much higher just to leave the union. And
Mm,
so many of them did it,
right.
you know. And I think that's something that needs to be looked at right here, because yeah, I get the union is there and to protect the employee, meaning the teachers, but I think sometimes when they get a little bit, well, not a little bit, when they get extremely large, like teachers union, then corruption comes into play,
Hmm.
and you're really not looking out for the best interests of the your
Right.
employees
Yeah,
all the time.
the days where union necessities, I think, are over. I think now
Yeah,
we have more tools. People have more tools. There's more laws. There's more things where unions aren't really important anymore. So the corruption's too easy.
yeah.
So, all right. Did you have anything to add, Kaner, there? Because me and Mike kind of been going back and forth. So,
No, I said what I had to say.
all right, we'll move to the next one then. And of course, another hot topic, right? Climate expert reports weather related deaths hit record low in 2021. Do you get that?
No.
What they're saying is climate change is trying to say it's happening and it's killing more people, but what this report is saying is it's a record low from climate. Climate related deaths have been lowest ever in
Oh, so the
2021.
climate-related death used to be 100 in 2021. They averaged about 100, but in 2021 they got 50. Ooh.
Or 99.5. It just
Yeah,
says record low. It could be.
I think your number is probably closer to 0.5%. So they're gonna claim it.
Well, this reminds me of the New Jersey toll system. If we increase the tolls, guess what? We're going to make more money. Holy cow. Who
Yeah.
would have thought that? Which they
Hmm.
just increased the tolls again.
Wow.
But this reminds me of that because think about it. What happened in 2021? I mean, people were home.
Yeah.
So what kind of weather related deaths? We lost a lot of probably driving deaths in storms or, what I mean? Things like that
Hmm.
because they probably categorize them. So this is kind of a topic. I just put it in there because it's weather,
Topic.
climate change, but yeah, I don't know if that's that good. But go ahead, I'll let you finish it out.
Kana?
It's such a silly fucking thing because it's just a controversial thing as to you know whatever, man. I'd like to see the numbers. I don't really have anything to say unless I see numbers.
Hmm.
What the
Well,
fuck? I mean, if it's 1% lower, then it's a record low. Whatever. What's
Right.
what was the record?
Right. Right.
I probably should have read up on that, but
it's really
it's
not that interesting.
No. Yeah. Actually,
no,
no. No.
it's a
No.
topic that I'm really not interested in anyway. So.
All
Yeah.
right, let's move on.
He would have had the first paragraph and be like, "What the hell?"
Let's move on. 1 million Americans fled to red states in 2021 and avoided climate accidents.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the climate deaths are record low, man.
Mm. Well, if a lot of people left New York and California, I can understand. And we have a lot of people in Texas who came from the West Coast over there, California, Arizona type areas, mainly California. It's like a mass exodus out of there
Oh yeah.
coming to Texas, and I was like, wow. And this is during that little mini housing boom that we just recently had and still do actually. But I think it's because of the shutdowns and the restrictions, trying to open back up or wanting places to open back up. And with those restrictions, especially that New York thing that was going on, where you're going to have to show your, what do we call it, shot
Passport,
record? Yeah, to show that you've been
Still going
vaccinated to go
on.
in a restaurant. It's like, nah,
It's still going on.
really? No,
yeah.
I totally disagree with that. What do you think, Ken?
I 100% agree. And to take it a little bit further, the people here on the East Coast, a lot of them are moving to like Florida because of Ron DeSantis and his. And you're right. You're 100% right. A lot of it has to do with this COVID shit. And the fact that like you live in California and you're like pretty much a prisoner. You're in New York. New York, I don't feel, because I lived in New York when it was going on. I don't feel it was the same as LA and shit like that, California. But when you see how Ron DeSantis is treating shit, and then you see how your governor's treating, he's like, and there's a lot more factors in that. But people want to just get the fuck out of those states. Why do I want to be in New York State? I have a $200,000 house here in South Carolina. If I had a $200,000 house in New York, I'd be paying $10,000 in taxes.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think you can have a $200,000 house in New York. That's called an apartment.
It's called a garage.
It's called slums.
It's called a storage facility.
It's called a shanty or a shack. But whatever the case may be, I mean, besides getting fucked in the ass by taxes and shit, like gas down here, I'm paying like 70 cents a gallon cheaper of gas down here. I'm paying fucking, I don't know. It's like $1,000 for my taxes a year versus $10,000. There's just a lot. I mean, the weather's better. There's just a lot. I don't know.
Well, I think, Kaner, definitely brings up points where it's more than just one thing, but just like the topic implies, red states. So they are putting a political spin on why people are moving. They're saying this. And I've often sat and I wondered that, but like Kaner's talking about, it's cheaper, but it's always been cheaper. But people didn't move. In fact, it was cheaper to go a couple years ago before housing did get ridiculous, but they didn't move. It's one of the reasons I had moved. Cheaper. I couldn't stand it. So I'm not really thinking that those are the driving issues, even though they're important. Maybe they were the ones that were hanging people on to saying, we need to move, the taxes are too high, we need to move. But finally, something pushed them over the edge. And I have to think, maybe you're right, it's COVID. But I think beyond the COVID, because COVID's everywhere, it's the policies from COVID.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, you look in New York or California, the policies and shit, you pretty much had to be locked out of your house in California. There's curfews and fucking like all kinds of dumb shit. And
so I think it is a red-blue thing then, to me, because that's the difference here. A lot of the other factors existed before this.
Yeah, you're right. But
that's just my opinion.
Well, the COVID was the icing on the cake. That's all.
Yeah, and COVID probably in some way created a way for people to leave those states, work from home. A lot of these corporations don't have an corporate office anymore. Everything's work from home, and I'm seeing a lot of that. So now they can work from anywhere in the States and some anywhere in the world, as long as you have that good internet.
Right.
And you're making all this money. So why would you stay there and pay? Like we're talking about taxes, gas prices, and cost of living. Let's just say cost of living, that high cost of living area, and just go someplace where you could buy some land or whatever, your preference is. So I think that has a lot to do with it, but it all ties back to COVID. So
yeah, that's what I was just saying. I think it was just there's something bigger than all that stuff. But let's see what Nate's got to say. Hey, Nate.
I'm in a blue state. Sorry.
So why do you think 1 million Americans fled to red states in 2021?
Politics, obviously. Here's my thing. They fled to red states, but how are they going to vote when they go to those states? Was it Republicans living in blue states that went to red states because they wanted the Republican way, or was it Democrats that were tired of the Democrat way that went to Republican states and are going to vote Republican now, or are they still going to vote Democrat?
I don't think the article really went into detail with that, but that's an excellent point.
We're not talking article. We're just talking headlines, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, did you read the article?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
There's an article? There's an article?
I read the article. I'm just going to stop the show right here and just be pressed for a minute.
But no, I really think that if you look at, that's why I say, and maybe I'm looking at it from a more personal standpoint, from talking to people who have like migrated from these states to red states, and mainly Texas. And when I sit and talk to them, ask them why, it's just like I said previously, because we work from home and we have you have a lot more money now. Companies have a lot more money, and not companies, excuse me, individuals have a lot more money instead of paying that. Like Kana was just saying about the $10,000 in taxes. Now you can pay 1,000.
Right.
You get more for your money in other states.
That's what I'm saying, though, Mike. But what happens if you're saying if anyone's saying this is COVID related? What happens when everybody says, "Okay, we're not working from home anymore. You guys come back to work"? People aren't going to be able to sell their houses and move back to New York.
I don't think that's going to happen. Like,
That's not. No.
yeah, because companies they have a profit also. For instance, a company that my wife used to work for, they paid, I think she said $16,000 a month for their office. Now they don't have to pay that anymore.
Right.
So that's like, serious profit. And with the office comes what? Office supplies and those little, miscellaneous things that just make that profit just rise.
But do you think they thought that through, though, Mike? I mean, because just the kids in school with remote learning, there is something to add to not going to your workplace of duty. I mean, your work. Like, even if you're working remotely, there's a reason only specific jobs were doing that. You know what I'm saying? So is this going to backfire down the road?
No, not at all. It's a proven fact people work better from home than they do at the office.
I can't work from home.
It's studies have shown that people work better out of their homes than they do in the office setting.
First and foremost, I'll agree with that because I know I've read that someplace as well, not in this article. But no, I've read that in the past as well, and with some people I kind of disagreed with it, but I'm only talking about maybe the 2 people versus the 20,000 that they referenced in said article. That's not the article we're talking about, though.
Right, but that's also a measure of like performance as well. People's performances are better.
Yeah.
If you don't have that boss breathing down your neck, you're a little more comfortable and apt to be your own self and do whatever you're doing and do better at it.
I think it goes back to the money, though. I think it goes back to the money for the individuals, and then as Jim said about companies stopping this work from home, it's all it has to do with the money. They see an increased profit, so why would they go back to the way it once was?
Right.
There's really no benefit for a company to go back to and bring people to the office, so to speak,
Well, but even at that, I mean, even as technology is getting better, you can collaborate more over online and things, and even Zoom stuff. But even at that, we're still talking about select jobs. I mean, not every job. You can't be a car salesman to work from home. I guess you could, but it would be a bad salesman, I guess, because you want somebody to look at the car, right?
Carvana. So, you ever heard of Carvana?
Yeah, but I'm sure that's not booming everywhere. Well, maybe now it is because of COVID, but people are also buying houses without looking at them. So that's, I think, a different story. I think that'll end when COVID's fiasco's done.
Well, they look at them probably virtually.
Yeah, but you know that's not effective.
It's not the same.
Yeah, but people are doing it though.
Well, I understand, and there's going to be a lot
for the guys in this group right here, but people are doing it.
There's going to be a lot of buyer's remorse on that. Even these houses, people are just scooping up because it's the cheapest and the only thing they can get. They're going to be like, "Whoa, what did I get?" So, I don't know. All right, we beat it to death. Let's go to the next one because you guys need to know about this. Apple becomes world's first $3 trillion company.
I was actually surprised. I thought it would have been Tesla. Yeah, I was actually
he's the richest man, right?
So
you figure the company he's the richest man. You figure the company because he keeps a lot of his money in the company.
Yep.
So he's probably not far behind.
What do you think about that, Nate?
I have 2 iPhones. I guess I contributed to that. Well, I don't. My family has 2 iPhones, so I guess we contributed to that. Now, granted, ours are iPhone 8, so we haven't upgraded in a couple of years. But I'm sure since they heard me now, he'll slow it down and make me go get a new one.
Yeah. Start having all these. It'll freeze up on you. So,
What do they call that? Planned obsolescence or something?
Yeah. What do you think about that, Kana?
I can't knock a company for doing well for themselves. No, everybody's like, buy local, buy this, buy that. Well, you know who works? Like, hammering Walmart. Don't buy Walmart, buy local. But all the people that work at Walmart are all locals. So if you don't shop at that place, you're not helping your local economy anyway. So $3 trillion for a company. I mean, there's Apple stores around here. Don't go to Apple.
Yeah.
Go to it's.
Yeah. When people say buy local, don't go to Walmart and buy local. I was like, well, Walmart is local.
It's closer than the local grocery store.
Exactly. I was like, no.
But hey, I mean, Apple did their thing. They know what the market wants and what the people want, and they get it out to them quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep them interested. Kaner?
I am not surprised by it. I mean, they're a pretty elite company. They do make an amazing product. Probably the best product out there for pretty expensive shit. But I'm not surprised. But I own all Apple products myself, so I've contributed to that, and I love Apple products. So it doesn't. I mean, the only thing I don't like about Apple is they kind of racket themselves into having their own little chargers and their own little things for this and that and this and that. It's the only thing I don't like. But eventually, after something comes out a year, then you can buy your shit anywhere you want. But
Well,
I'm not surprised, and good for them.
I say, how do you think they got to be a $3 trillion company?
Yeah.
Because they had great marketing, made everyone believe they needed an Apple, and they sold proprietary crap.
Well, we're all in the same age generation, and I don't know about you guys, but I always thought apples were fucking awesome when they first came out. I think I was in like 7th or 8th grade when they came out, or when our schools got them, and they were fucking cool as hell, man.
The Apple computer, yeah, I remember when the Apple computer came out, right?
And it just grew and grew and grew to be everything they did was. Although I didn't like the next generation of Macs, but they grew. They were just so easy to use and just fun. So I don't know.
I don't remember anything after the Apple computer. I don't.
Dell.
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember the Mac. I mean, I don't remember when the Mac came out.
They always had these computers that were all like all-in-ones.
Right.
And they had the mouse is a little goofy and shit like that. And I don't know. I always liked them. I always thought they were user-friendly. And never had trouble with them. Whenever I had an IBM or whatever, Dell or HP, I always got viruses. I've had my MacBook Pro for like 7 years now. And it still runs like brand new.
Not anymore. They just heard you.
Yeah, no shit.
Kaner, we're losing you. Kaner, you just froze. Kaner.
No, actually, I'm actually on an HP right now.
There you go.
Because this is the computer the military gave me for the going back to school shit, VNR or whatever the fuck it's called.
So right now your Mac is going through your router and setting a virus up on your HP.
Maybe.
Look, we don't get viruses. We just put them on the other computers.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
All right, we ready for that? We beat that one. This one, Keanu Reeves donates 70% of his Matrix salary to leukemia research to honor his youngest sister.
He can afford it. Good for him.
They only paid him $10,000.
10,000.
I'm joking.
Keanu's a very generous person, anyways.
Yeah.
He's a very down to earth, genuinely generous person. That when he lives in New York City when he's not working, and he takes the subway and shit, and fucks around, talks to people. He just acts like a normal person. He doesn't. I don't think that shit means shit to him.
Yeah,
Good
he's
for
real
him.
down to earth.
That's awesome. He did that.
Yeah. Too bad you don't see more of that, I guess. But I'm not one to tell another man what to do with his money.
Right.
Well, that's kind of why I put it out on there, because I think it needs to get more media attention. Because 70% is a lot. I mean, you joke about how much he made, but 70% is still 70%.
Yeah.
70% of $1 million is 70%, you know?
Yeah.
So no matter what it is, he gave away 70% of his salary. Now,
Yeah.
I don't want to get into a full movie review because I didn't really care for the movie, but he still gave away his salary. So that's pretty awesome.
Is this the new Matrix movie that just came
Yeah.
out or something?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's all I could think of, man.
I didn't even make it through the movie, actually. I fell asleep.
Took me 5 attempts.
Really?
Yep.
That's not surprising because I think I probably was disconnected from the first one so long that I don't even remember what it was really about.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were showing clips from whatever. It just I didn't like it.
Never seen none of them.
Yeah.
Me either.
So maybe that's why he gave 70% away because he's like, yeah, this wasn't worth it. He wanted to clear his conscience.
Probably.
All right. Let's go to Washington State prioritizes minority patients for COVID treatments.
Wow. I wonder what constitutes a minority. I'm
Looking at
starting
the
not to trust headlines.
Looking at the
At all.
four of us, that'd be you, Mike.
Oh, I was thinking someone else for another
Even though
reason,
even though you're 25% right now, you're still the minority.
but- yeah, I know, right? Damn it. I was getting up there, man.
I wish
You were
I could-
You were
I can make his-
33% till I came on.
I was just about to say that, Nate. I was just,
yeah, I wish I could make his window smaller. That would have been so
yeah.
fun.
This is why they're treating us first. But yeah, that's where I stand on that one. It's like, okay, what's the minority they're referencing here? Because to me, here in America, if it was let's just throw it out there, blacks, they would have said that. Because that's a stinger. That's sensationalism. That would have been in that headline. So that's why I question what the minority is. You know what I mean?
That makes sense, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Illegals?
Could be.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
But
maybe
then again,
Canadians
I
might be
think
minorities.
that's a trigger as well for clickbait. They would have said prioritizes illegals. You know
Well,
what I
I'm
mean?
just yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is Mexico or Washington State's full of Mexicans. Illegals.
Yeah.
So that's all.
What state's not now?
Idaho,
New York, man.
What are you talking about? New York ain't.
North Dakota.
Yeah, North Dakota. I buy that.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is interesting, and I'm going to take a different approach to this because when I looked at this headline, you know, obviously I thought maybe clickbait, it doesn't make sense, but then I said, what if I can justify this? And I said, there's probably a way I could justify it if they would speak truth to us and give us statistics. So let's say for real that minorities were 70% higher, more likely to die. So that would make sense to me. I could justify that. Let's prioritize that because they're at a higher risk. You know, they can lose lives. Their population would be, you know, diminished. So I can get that. But there's just not enough.
If you look at statistically speaking, there's more minorities that die from COVID than white folks. If you look statistically at medical care, minorities on a norm don't get as good a medical care as a regular white person. So I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at it, but like Tim, the guy that was on the show with a few times, he lives down in Texas, and he was telling me that it's majority black people and Mexicans that are dying from COVID. But this was when COVID first came out, and it's because of their comorbidities or whatever. More minorities than that have diabetes and stuff like that. So I mean, I guess there's many ways to look at it. So,
But couldn't you clarify that and say instead of prioritizing minorities, prioritize comorbidities?
Yeah,
Prioritize overweight people or whatever the.
I think that what the fuck? That was weird.
Mike, you're now 33%.
Welcome to the show.
You're getting up there. Oh,
It just clicked my mouse. I hit my mouse. It just clicked me out of the room. I was like, what the hell?
you were going to the 8:30 show.
Yeah. No, I swept my hand across it, hit my mouse, and hit a button because these mice these days, they can't be just left and right button. They got to be like 20 buttons. And it just sent me out of the room. I was like, what the heck? Anyways, go ahead.
No, you were talking.
Yeah, you were talking.
I know, but I'm way off track now, so it doesn't matter.
You were saying, shouldn't it be people with comorbidities?
Well, I was saying,
done,
yeah, just like what Mike was calling on the topic, the headline. If it was black, they would have put black in there. So I'm
Right.
saying instead of maybe making a prioritizing any race, it should be prioritizing a condition, prioritizing something different, and then you've got a justifiable answer.
Yeah, but they're put that headline is just a headline to probably trigger people or whatever.
Well, I was triggered, right? I left, right?
Yeah.
All right. You ready to move on to the last one? Because
Yeah,
I realize we are getting over time here. Hope nobody's waiting in the other room.
I'm waiting in the other room.
Oh, are you? All right. Well, here's the last one. Scared woman finds human toe in mud, calls police. It's a potato.
Is she still scared?
Were the police scared? I mean, I don't know.
Better be safe than sorry, right?
I was gonna say that, and I don't know about Kane or not Kane, but in our experience in law enforcement, that doesn't surprise me at all. Being called to some weird things, and next thing you know, it was just an umbrella in a tree. It's just something, just whatever you could think of. Most likely, someone in law enforcement experienced something like that. But it's like better be safe than sorry. For whatever reason, maybe she watches too much CSI. She thought it was a toe. Was it peeled?
Obviously.
Was it peeled? That's a dirty toe.
Was there a nail on it?
Mike, I'm the same. And we've even had a headline here about a blow-up doll being found and people calling, I get that. But a toe, I mean, I think you need more than a toe. And a toe usually has a nail on it.
Yeah.
So a potato, a toe, maybe I can, they look like a toe.
Yeah.
But I still probably would get a stick and be digging around, maybe find a body attached to that toe.
It is called a potato.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
All right. That is all the time we have for this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you guys out there watching. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Get off the screw tube. Get us on Rumble. And until the next time, Godspeed.
Hey, and pull the pin.
Boom.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.